Kevin here, and today's video I want to talk to you about, should you buy a diesel car? Is it a good idea to have one? In short, in some ways it can be good actually. Diesel cars by nature are actually very fuel efficient compared to gasoline cars. Even if the engine is naturally aspirated or turbocharged, it's still very efficient. They actually still get better gas mileage. Well, they still get better NPG than a gasoline car. Now, the only reason why I bought this car was because of the fuel mileage, only because of fuel. I wanted to have a fuel saver. I bought a fuel saver, but the only problem is that it's not fast. You see, with it making 73 horsepower and 96 torque, there's no speed in that thing. Kind of having a diesel car as a daily driver is a pain. So what I do suggest is having a diesel car as a second car. Now you can have a diesel car that may have some sort of power like a Volkswagen Jetta TDI or modern day BMW diesel or modern day Mercedes diesel or like an Audi diesel or whatever. You can have a diesel car. I just recommend having a second one. Now here are a few things that you need to know. First off, diesel engines are more difficult to maintain than gasoline engines. Comparing a gasoline and diesel engine together is like literally apples to pears. There's really not much comparison. They both have pistons, but they burn. But the way they combust is different. A gasoline engine uses spark plugs. Diesel engine uses compression. And the diesel engine does have plugs, but they're glow plugs. The glow plugs don't act as spark plugs. They basically ignite the inside of the cylinder to warm it up and make it warm up and then fire upon start. Another thing too, which I'll show in just a moment. See this? You're gonna need yourself a special tool. And this is one of the many special tools that you'll be needing. I say that you need a special tool is because, well, what if you need to work on an injection pump, especially on this old car? I bought this tool because let me show you why I needed this little tool in there. Focus already. You can't exactly see it as much, but there's some diesel fuel leaking on top of the fuel injector, and therefore you need this fuel injection pump socket to make it work. Because here's the problem: for this being a 34-year-old car, the O-rings for the injection pump, obviously the rubber is probably very brittle, or there's no rubber left to keep the fuel from escaping out of the injection pump. So what has to be done, that I had to buy this special tool to work on the injection pump, to put the O-rings in. I already bought the O-rings. I also already bought this tool, as well as a pre-fuel filter, because the pre-fuel filter on this car is very dirty. The main fuel filter, of course, I just replaced it. Another thing you have to take into consideration is that you'll be needing to buy some special parts for a diesel car. Places like AutoZone, Advanced Auto, O'Reilly's, or Napa Auto Parts, they typically don't carry a lot of parts for your diesel car. The only parts that they'll carry are brake pads, headlights, taillights, brake lights, maybe a brake caliper, maybe a brake rotor, brake rotors, and a few other fuses. Obviously, they carry fuses, but they don't carry a whole lot of parts. Is the problem. So, when you buy a diesel car, you pretty much have to buy your parts online, because a lot of auto parts stores don't carry the parts for your car. For Mercedes, for example, the only thing that at some place like Advanced Auto or AutoZone would carry are my headlights. They carry these. They also carry the tail light and high beam, the tail lights, the tail light bulbs, the turn signal light bulbs, and that's it. Carry fuses too. But other than that, that's about it. You have to buy everything else online, or have to wait till like a BDP order in some places. If you want to buy a part from an auto parts store, more than most likely it's going to be a BDP part. So if you go into an auto parts store and searching up parts and have the employees search up parts for your auto parts for your car, don't be surprised when they say they don't carry that part or the BDP part, because typical places don't carry parts for the car. Just don't typically carry, because there aren't a whole lot of these on the road. There really aren't, which is why everything is a vendor part, and it sucks because you have to order everything online via eEuro parts or Parts Geek or whatever website you use. Something as simple as a engine oil filter, you have to buy that online too. You can't buy that at a Advanced AutoZone. They won't, and most likely will not carry it, or you have to wait a couple of days for it to arrive, as it's a vendor only part. Simple things such as like maybe a wheel bearing, they probably may not carry that either. There's probably another special order part. Sway bars, lower control arm, tie rods, probably all special order parts that have to order, or they don't carry at all. AC compressor. This is an old style. The one that's on this car is an old style AC compressor. It uses, of course, R12. And as far as I know, I haven't seen any refrigerant leaks or anything like that. But they don't carry the AC compressor, and nor does any auto parts store carry R12. You have to do an R134 conversion, or if you don't want to, you can always buy some R12. And speaking of which, I don't know if my AC works or not. I still don't know yet. But I did end up getting my blower motor working. We just basically bypassed the relay, and that's about it. Diesel cars just aren't as easy to maintain as you think they are. Think that, oh, if I just buy a diesel car, it's going to be reliable. Not exactly the case, because not all diesel cars are reliable. It also depends on the condition that you buy it in. For me, I bought this car in like piss poor condition. Like the car was like dry rot tires on all four wheels. It was in shit shape, honestly. It was terrible shape. But I somehow resurrected it, and now it's in running condition like it is right now. It still has some problems, actually. Some problems that need to be looked at. For example, the differential whines a little bit. When you go at around 45 to 50 miles an hour, it makes a slight howling noise. Even though I put in some new gear oil, it's still making a slight howling noise. Maybe if I put in like the Lucas gear oil silencer or stuff like that, whatever it is, that might help it, but at the same time it might not. It could be that different. Maybe that's the way the differential's supposed to. Maybe it's supposed to make that sort of howling noise. The howling noise is not loud, but it's still audible. Not sure if it's supposed to sound like that naturally because it's an old style differential, or there's something going on with the differential. The vacuum line on the transmission is probably bad too, because when you go into fourth gear, it jerks and you hear a hard shift. It jerks and it makes a hard shift noise. And so that's a vacuum problem. So I'm sure I have a feeling that vacuum hose is probably in a hard to reach place. Anyways, if you want to buy a diesel car, buy one, but make sure that it's in great condition, that it's running right, it's not leaking any oil. And if you're gonna buy one, just have it as a secondary car, or have it as a daily driver. But you gotta keep up on the maintenance, because as soon as you slip on the maintenance, you're gonna end up destroying something that will cost you more. Whereas if you destroy something like a gasoline engine, it's probably slightly easier to repair. So You gotta stay on top of maintenance for a diesel car. Anyhow, that's my video for today. Hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you want to stop by, please give it a thumbs up. Give a nice positive comment on the video. And I'll see you all later.